I couldn't find October 6th, but if you have any corrections and have dire need to change them before we vote on them, then you should tell me when we go to vote on them. Other than that, we're going to have 2 presentations today. Our usual conversation with Dr. Gerhardt with some updates from the Faculty Senate meetings. And then we'll have a presentation later on from Steph, who is part of SPAM, the Student Peer Alcohol Monitoring Group. Okay, we're good to go. Dr. Gerhardt, would you like to start us off this evening?
So, thank you. It's nice to be here again, and I guess I'm looked at as a regular. So I should point out I don't have a red shirt, so I don't quite fit in. No hints there, Shoshana, at all. I don't have anything new to bring to the table. Let me just review where we are. I've met, since our last meeting, met with Marcus Flowers again. We chatted about some of the student projects and the need to, I think, prioritize those projects. We went through and reviewed a type of a template of how you should look at projects and which is more important, and to putting up a time schedule and just all the, I would say, common sense things that one needs to apply in a very real world situation. So we've had a good, healthy discussion. We are going to have Marcus and also Kyle come to the executive committee of the Faculty Senate this Wednesday morning. So they're invited, as we regularly look to exchange each other's roles with the opposing, if you will, a cooperative Senate. So that will come about. In terms of anything else, I would just really comment what I've said before. I think it would be most valuable if, particularly you as the Student Senate, look at a project. You've mentioned several things over the different times I've been here in my discussions with Marcus and Kyle, which project you'd like to focus on, in particular where you might effectively utilize the faculty assistance. We talked, for example, last time about the drop deadline and how that may be coincident or not with the second exam in the course. And I pointed out that one has to really look at that in a bit of research to see if that really is a singular issue or just scattered and could be easily resolved by just talking to the individual professors involved, or whether there should be some policy or practice established, but basically to find out how widespread is this an issue to students. And so the ball is back in the Student Senate court to look at doing a survey of the students to really evaluate to what extent this is an issue and how important it is and how then we can resolve it. And I think the Faculty Senate would be glad to help and work with you to try to do that. But overall, I think we need to come to grips with one of the projects that you brought up from time to time and decide which one we want to approach as a joint effort of the Student Senate and Faculty Senate. So I just underscore, I think the opportunities are wonderful. There are open lines of communication between the two Senates. They're the only constituencies on campus that have their own Senate, that is the students and the faculty. And we're looking forward to hearing from you, and I've asked Marcus and Kyle on Wednesday to give a brief summary of what projects are of interest and in what priorities to the students and how the Faculty Senate might interact. So I think that should be an interesting, several minutes at the Faculty Senate meeting and make everyone aware and see if we can focus on one of them and do something together for the benefit of both. So.
Today, Justin will be taking cues, so we'll open for any discussion.
Mike?
So Marcus, you're the undergrad rep for Faculty Senate?
Pardon me?
So your position on the Faculty Senate is what?
I don't have a position on the Faculty Senate.
What is the title?
I'm just the chair of the Academic Affairs Committee. You might be thinking of last year where I was one of the representatives for the Faculty Senate Curriculum Committee.
Okay.
But this year, those two representatives are Paul and Jessica.
So I'm the person, grad student has a rep spot on Faculty Senate somewhere.
Curriculum Committee, yes.
Okay.
There's also a grad student as well.
Okay. You know if that's going through at all?
Mhm.
Is that working right now? Do you know?
I haven't had any communication with them yet, but yes,
Okay.
to my knowledge, there's nothing like.
Was there something there?
There was a third guy who, like, a third student was there, I just don't know if there was a grad.
Right, that
If there was
the
a third
last meeting we
student,
went to, there was the
if
meeting
there was a
before
third
that,
student, then
there
it was the graduate student.
Dr. Gerhardt, is there a position for the graduate students on the curriculum committee?
We don't have a position directly identified. Certainly, if that were needed, I think I can bring that to the Senate and decide what we can do about that. But at this point, we wanted to start off by having joint visitations, in this case of myself, to your Senate and representatives from here, Kyle and whoever, depending what the issue might be, to the faculty Senate, and see what we can do. I think the key is we have the options to do whatever we like at the moment. We can always create the positions if that were to help. Of course, we can do it. I really would like to focus on the task at hand and to very carefully identify what you really like to do in a prioritized way and how the faculty senate might assist in that. I think it would be much better to get that credibility established between as a working partnership. But certainly organizationally, we can do what we like, but we don't necessarily have it at the moment.
The queue's open.
Do the graduate students want to talk about anything specific they'd like to work with the faculty senate on?
No, I'm under the impression Kyle asked us for a rep at one point, and we elected one, and I haven't heard a word back yet. So I'm looking into that now.
Queue's open.
There is a representative, there's a grad student spot reserved. There's 2 undergrads, 1 graduate on the faculty senate curriculum committee. I do not have the name of the person off the top of my head. I'm currently trying to get you the name.
It's Jen Kyle.
Okay. But there is a representative.
Wasn't the name Kyle, I thought?
Jennifer Kyle.
Jennifer
Kyle is her
Kyle, I
last name.
believe that's who it is.
Okay, have you met, has she been attending your meetings?
No,
Has she been contacted?
no.
Well, I don't think Jess or I remember the name of the third student we saw at the other meeting, but it was a guy, so I'm relatively certain it's not.
Not Jen.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah. Who is in charge of the emailing list for when you're having meetings? Can you add Jen Kyle to that? I believe Kyle is supposed to pass on the information to add on her name to your email list.
Yes, I can do that.
Okay, we'll send you her information.
Okay, would you just send me an email? It's much easier that way for me.
The queue's open.
Marcus, do you know what projects you and Kyle are planning to highlight on Wednesday?
As far as projects that we're planning to highlight, I was going to discuss that with Kyle today actually, but I just found out yesterday that he was going to be out of town. So, again, I figured that Kyle had talked to the other chairs. I know what project I would like to advocate for, but I would like to also, I'm sure we're going to get the input with Kyle and the other chairs before we officially decide on what project we want to put forward as a Senate as our priority with the faculty Senate.
Which one are you thinking of?
Well, I have my preferences as the academic affairs chair, but I don't have to know what the preferences of Michael or Lexi might be, but mine personally would be the research.
Yeah, this was the one that was discussed at the last meeting. That's why, I have my own little chicken scratching, so to speak, of the various projects. Each time, but we seem to talk about one project and a different project. And I really would suggest organizationally, we're here to help. I really want to underscore that we have all the willingness and ability to do that. I think that if I could ask publicly now, that the meeting on Wednesday, we don't have an awful lot of time. We really want to summarize your top, pick a number, 3, 4, or 5 projects briefly, with the title, a little description of what the project is, in this case, the research directory, and basically a very brief description of what that means. what you would like to see and what you've done today. And if you do that for 3 or 4 or so projects, the faculty, I'm sure, will be very happy there to comment, make some suggestions right off the top, but more to the point, get some, I like the faculty to hear a rather concrete formulation from you and Kyle and what, on that day as to what the top, let's say, 4 projects are. And then briefly a description of each one if you want, put out a piece of paper which describes the 4, and then basically try to describe what assistance you may need or would like to call upon the Senate, the faculty Senate, to do.
The queue is open. Any last takers?
Okay, thank you for your time, Dr. Gayhart. We really appreciate
And we'll see you on Wednesday. Have a good meeting.
Is the VGA cable still hooked up over there? Okay, the graduate school must have taken it out. Can someone volunteer to go and grab a VGA cable from the administration office? Across the hall. Be brave. You can do it. Thank you.
It's a text.
Okay.
He has one in his backpack.
Just wait. Stop this.
Okay, okay, so you can use your cable. Are you all set?
Yeah, so as the slideshow comes up. Is here also?
Yeah, this is one section.
Kristen, the graduate student is Tim Brents.
I'm not gonna show it to you.
I was referring to the working committee.
I was actually gonna ask that.
Like, did you make one from my wall or just
Do you want me to use my laptop then, or?
Sure,
To my
do you need
knowledge,
someone to
there's
cook
no-
for you?
I can do
The only
it.
rep that we have to talk about
Whatever you want
is,
comfortable.
No, specifically.
Kyle and I are regularly going to some meetings, we don't go to every
Oh, that's right.
We
Okay,
only
fine,
went
if
to
you want
this
to
one.
see it,
Just to my designated.
Not because I'm a graduate case, so.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
I'm trying to figure out how Kyle phrased it to us.
Okay, sorry.
This is our first time
The
going to
administration
That's the
that.
one that we did.
This Wednesday.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Was that like?
I thought you
That's
were.
our-
I'm not trying to find out how Kyle
Or
phrased
you
it.
want.
How did Kyle phrase it?
I'm not trying to find out how Kyle phrased it.
You may order a flat.
Okay,
I'm looking through emails.
I don't know any titles to look for, I wasn't, to my knowledge, I'm not being
Oh,
invited
you
under
guys
any
are
title,
just-
I'm just being invited to
It's the one with someone with like carved
Kyle
like
called me
space
for names,
on it.
so I'm not trying to figure out.
So that's a main form.
I didn't do that last part, I'm sorry.
Kyle asked us for a name.
Unless that was like 3 people walked in.
I'm looking that up.
Please let me know, because if there is
Since
a
it's guys
position
on
for undergrad rep, to
obviously.
be perfectly honest, at least we haven't selected one,
Yeah.
so.
I'm gonna.
Girl wants one that bad.
She's not a picky brother?
They should probably get something
So, prioritizing the I know this I so pretty much handling wasn't really to faculty, but I still felt like I was going to talk with Kyle and get his input on what the other chairs thought. For Kyle's out of town right now, so I didn't get to have that conversation.
Jen would like to hand something out. You should pay attention. And
Hey guys, the Senate survey is live, as you know. I made posters, so if you're living in the dorms, could you please post one outside your dorm? If you want to post one inside, we have to ask the RD, so that's an extra step. So I'm just gonna hand these out. If you can also find a spot on campus you want to post it, that would be great.
Yes, sir.
We can push them for that.
I already posted JDC.
The ones that I sent you are currently posted.
Yeah, those are fine.
If anyone needs tape, I can use it.
I can talk to Kyle. Yeah, I did.
I just wanna make sure, like,
When
I
he wants
post
to.
mine here.
I've always here as not
It's not
at all.
as. Yeah, it's not as, like, it's something.
Mason needs a poster.
What?
Actually, I didn't.
Oh.
How did you not take it this serious then?
No one really did.
What
Well,
is the student
let's see
senate
why.
prioritize
This
as
is
the
not make
project?
this a big long.
And if I go in
It's
there.
a huge long.
It'll take me like 5 minutes.
I didn't even make it past
And then
that.
speaking to the whole student senate, and you understand what I mean.
Yeah, so that's it. Maybe like,
So,
time you still think the areas investigating.
if you're saying 10 minutes and survey together, that's too long.
I think that's okay, because when I was saying, you're in the second phase, but AAC is government. It's too long.
Yeah, where we want to really collaborate. Because I think, yeah, it's good to definitely.
You should have put that, each one club.
Free 99 cents.
Lunch by you guys.
Alright guys.
Okay, so, hi everyone, my name is Stephanie Turk, and I am the director of SPAM. So first and foremost, what is SPAM? SPAM stands for Student Peer Alcohol Monitoring. It is a program on campus that is designed to minimize the amount of risk that happens at events, mostly registered events such as the Greek parties that everyone likes to go to on Fridays and Saturdays. Students are hired to go into events and act as a second set of risk management eyes. We are funded and ran through the Student Health Center as well. So general timeline of how we operate. 10 to 1 days before the event, myself alongside, I forgot to change that, my mistake. The coordinator of internal and external affairs will designate 2 or 3 SPAM monitors to the events. 30 minutes before the event itself, monitors will show up and familiarize themselves with the sober monitors, plan of action, and area of the event itself. Throughout the duration of the event, monitors will walk around and look for risky behavior or other concerns. Any risks that they see or potential scenarios that they deem as risky will be brought to the head of the organization's leadership. For example, if they see that people are dancing on bars where they could slip and fall, they'll grab one of the sober hosts and say, hey, you might want to fix that. So 30 minutes after the event, monitors will talk to the head of sober monitors as a final wrap-up of the night, tying any loose ends and giving some insight on what could have helped to make the night go smoother. The organization will sign off on a paper or complete a small survey, and the night is concluded. What we do not do. We are not policy enforcement. We are not conducting a game of gotcha. We are not here to report issues to get organizations in trouble. We are here to do the exact opposite of that. So we're not going to say, oh, there's underage drinking here, or there's drugs, or whatever the case may be. We're not there to do that at all. So, looking towards the future of SPAM, currently we are 85% digital, with payroll being the only exception. Monitors will fill out surveys through Google Docs and have the host organizations fill out similar surveys on the same platform. Currently, with the absence of Dean Hunt, we'll be working with the Dean of Off-Campus Housing until a new Greek Dean is installed. We will try to reach out to non-Greek organizations as well. We have tried doing with the players, but since their risk management policy is so spot on, we feel that is not necessary. We're also looking to reach out to the sports teams and any other organizations that decide to host events. So far, our numbers have been low, but we will soon approximately double the number of monitors for this coming semester. We are always looking for new monitors, and we always say that all Greeks and non-Greeks can apply. You must be a junior or senior to actually monitor, but any grade level can apply so that we can train you guys, and then, excuse me, sorry, I'm just getting over this cold. So we can get everyone trained, and by the time they are a junior, we can have them deployed properly. So I don't just want to keep it very simple and short. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or feedback on it?
Just curious, you said numbers are low. How many people are involved, at least in the monitoring?
Currently, we have 12 deployable members, but right now we're looking to train 12 more, so we'll have 24 by the end of the semester. Yes.
By grade level, is it by credits or is it by semesters and RPI?
I believe it is by, actually, we haven't really discussed that, but I want to say that it is by semester. However, obviously, we do not want to have 18-year-old juniors applying to the program, so we generally try to keep it by semesters.
Joe?
first of all, thank you very much for speaking to us this evening. I just have a question. In terms of applying, is there an application opening and deadline? And where do we find those kinds of materials?
Generally, we have a rolling application status, or hiring status, excuse me, where at any time you want to apply to the program, you simply email me, the director, our coordinator of internal, coordinator of external, or Tara Schuster, who is our advisor for the chapter. You email one of us, or you can come up to the 4th floor of Academy Hall in the Dean of Students Life office. Ask for an application. We can email you one, or you can pick one up out there. Either way, you fill it out, bring it back to us, and we'll get you all set.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Lexi?
So I personally, this is the first time I've heard of this program, and I see that you've come to talk to Senate about it. I was wondering if there's anything specifically you want Senate to do to advertise this program coming to speak to us.
As far as advertisement goes, I honestly can't think of anything off the top of my head. Honestly, just get the word out as best as you can. If you have friends who are looking for jobs that are proficient in risk management, anything like that, honestly, doing anything you guys can would help greatly to improve the program. So, I was actually coming here tonight to ask for feedback if you guys have any on how the program is being run, but I guess not many of you have heard about the program, so sorry.
I'm gonna pull myself on the queue.
Sure.
Is it automatically added to any event, or can the event opt out?
The event can be turned down, assuming the incorrect paperwork is submitted. For the most part, it's any event that we deem as necessary. So basically, are you familiar at all with the application of events system? No. So for most all of the Greek organizations, they will submit paperwork 10 calendar days before the event itself. So we receive the paperwork, we will see which houses are having events, what nights, and then we go from there saying, I'm sorry to throw you on the spot, Di, but Pikes is having a event next weekend.
Did we do it?
I just saw the letters, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to actually bring it under the bus. But we'll say, Pikes is having an event next weekend. We'll see which monitors are available to go to said event, and then we'll deploy them thusly. We do not usually do formals unless they specifically ask us, and even then we still hesitate to, but for the most part we just say, we'll see who's having events, and send them their way. Any other?
The queue's open.
You mentioned clubs and sports teams. Is this solely for campus events, or is this possibly for other events?
Yes, we generally stay on campus. The only exceptions when we don't stay on campus would be to the houses that are not near campus, such as SAE, API, stuff like that. But we are strictly on campus stuff.
Lexi?
So I just want to clarify, if you're having an event like, say, Greeks, that they know they're going to have alcohol at, are you required to submit to the alcohol mentoring program, or is this something that if somebody, wants somebody for you, say wants you guys to come to their event, then they apply? Like, how does that work? Is it required, for instance, like if you're a Greek house, and do you have to submit to this program?
You don't have to submit to this program specifically, but any Greek house that's going to have an event where there is alcohol and minors present, they do have to submit the paperwork. For example, if Chi-Phi is having a formal, they have to submit paperwork saying, we are having an event, but it's going to be a formal where we won't be deployed. But again, if Pikes is having a luau themed party, then we will be there. So everyone has to submit paperwork, but some events we will monitor as opposed to other events that do not require us.
Is this program paid for by Student Health Services, or does the group having the event have to?
Nope, it is completely through Student Health Services. Every monitor per event is paid, so it is technically a job, but everything is through the Student Health Center.
Since you have 12 monitors, are you running low of monitors currently? Because there are probably about 4 or 5 events every weekend.
Yes, but with our increase of 12 new monitors by the end of the semester, we should have 24, so we should be good by then. But yeah, we are running a little low.
The queue is open. Conrad?
How long has SPAM been around?
SPAM has been, I believe, since 2010.
Thank you.
The queue is open.
That's one last thing. Could you go back? Did you have like a goal slide? Because I was just
Oh.
curious, what's like the ultimate goal of this program? Because I know you monitor, but say like there's really bad alcoholic activity, do you guys call the police or is it just like an observational?
It is mostly observational. Again, we are not policy enforcement. However, if there is a situation where we are required to act, we will do so with discretion and at the discretion of the house itself. So, for instance, if a monitor notices someone's not looking too well, they'll first talk to the sober hosts, see what they want to do. If they feel emergency services is necessary, then again, they'll talk to the house and see what they want to do. Yeah. Did I answer the entire?
How can people best get involved if they don't exactly want to monitor? Don't have the time. Is there another way to get involved with SPAM instead of monitoring?
Generally, everyone who does get involved is a monitor, but if you do want to come to our general body meetings, definitely get in touch with me. Thank you, Jess. Again, you could just shoot me an email, say, oh, I just want to see what the program's about. Definitely contact me, let you know when our meetings are, and you can get a feel for it.
The queue is open. Any last takers?
Okay, so thank you for coming to speak with us. For the SPAM program or any of the risk management services that are going on with the health center, I'll get you in touch with staff and anyone really there. Thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes that were going around from October 27th? Were there any corrections? We're also voting on October 6th, but I couldn't print them out because I couldn't find them. So if you have dying corrections, you should have already looked at them.
Oh, if you don't know what
They got emailed out. It's like right after the meeting.
Who's making corrections sound nice? Or is everyone just looking through them? Yeah, please spell my first name with just one N. Okay, can you write anywhere that it's incorrect? Where were they? Pass them forward. Mason, are you done? Are you still looking?
he's scanning.
Okay. Are there any corrections on it? Last page. Just the last page. Is it just the spelling and reading? Is it on the list of people page? Okay.
And also, Molly Dugan's not on here.
She is.
Oh, she was.
Oh,
on the
okay,
back.
this is the-
Oh,
This is
yeah.
the old minutes, so
Alright.
she wasn't yet elected to her position. Don't worry, you should be on there.
Are you on the thing now?
Are you on the agenda?
Oh, she's on the thing.
Okay.
Yes. It's not that big of a deal. She's on the thing.
Okay.
It's of monumental importance.
Alright, so I have a motion before me. The motion is for the Rensselaer Union 45th Student Senate approves the minutes of October 6th and October 27th as attached. And the only corrections are Jen. Any question to have? So moved by Justin and seconded by Michael, because that's really important. You did a great job.
You're supposed to say that.
Okay. Any questions as it has been listed as read? All those in favor? Okay, all opposed? All abstaining.
What, because Arizona's not back yet?
This motion passes 15-1-2. That's one missing.
We're working on it.
Oh, okay, Mike just left. Okay, that's fine. Alright, I have updates from Kyle and then we'll move on to constituent reports.
Slowly, please.
Committee and constituent reports, sorry. First, he wants to congratulate the engineers for beating Union College after 2 great weekend games. He wants to remind the graduates that there is still 1 vacancy for the graduate senator because he really wants to have a full Senate because we haven't done this in a number of years. He wants to remind you about the student Senate survey, but Jen was kind enough to hand out posters, which you should all hang up. And then next week's meeting will feature a presentation by Rules and Elections about electronic voting, as well as a presentation from the Student Sustainability Task Force, which is SSTF. It used to be a Senate committee, by the way, for those of you who don't know, but they've gone on to bigger and better things, and they're going to talk about the green revolving fund that they are proposing. Lastly, Jen sent out her tabling sign up, so everyone should fill that out. You haven't sent that out yet?
No.
Okay, send that up at the end of the meeting, please.
Yeah.
So I'm not a liar. Okay. Alright. Who is up first? Rules elections. Paul.
We're apparently presenting next week.
No one
Okay.
told us.
Mel
Sure.
knows.
Mel has it covered.
That's
Because,
Don't worry,
it's
we'll
in
figure it
cabinet.
out.
Michael, I've kind of been telling you about the presentation I can see next week. Also, we're making progress on the 2 different things we're working on, and apparently should have the code for electronic voting ready to demo by the end of the semester.
Academic affairs.
So, academic affairs, I had a meeting with the vice provost this morning, and a quick story is that half of our projects are being entirely revamped. I will talk to my committee in the near future and send out an email to them. Before I forget, Thursdays, 7 to 8 p.m., that's when we meet. But otherwise, we're going to be picking a project that we want to pitch to the faculty senate as our priority, and we're going to look for quick input from anybody else before Wednesday morning if they feel there's any projects that they have that they're working on, they want the faculty senate to help them with. If you have any ideas for that, we need that information in by noon on Tuesday.
Tomorrow, Tuesday.
Yes, tomorrow, so noon tomorrow.
Student government communications, Jen?
So we're postering for the Senate survey, as you guys know. We're also gonna poster for HSAC and universal access this week. Next week, we're going to start tabling sign-up sheet to be sent out shortly, just for a few major events. And our next meeting is tomorrow night, Tuesday, 8 to 9 p.m. in SGS.
Thank you. Michael, facility services?
We're making some good progress on pet-friendly housing. As far as Arizona goes, the status of it right now is that it is coming back, just not at the 99-cent price point. So we're trying to determine if it's the 99 price or the not 99, or if it's the actual drink. So trying to figure that out, hopefully through the Senate survey. Yes?
It's both.
It's both? Okay.
I don't think it's either.
We're gonna get the data from the Senate survey. We asked a couple questions about Arizona. Yes.
Either way, don't let it leave this room.
I mean, it's being recorded, so.
The policy.
So gay.
It's okay.
Can you like edit the tape and like take it?
It's okay. Let's see. Besides that, we're working on our project. I'm gonna add everyone to our Slack soon. I'm gonna send out an email later tonight. So if you want to be involved in the conversations with FSC, but you don't want to come to meetings, you can do that. But you should still come to my meetings 5 o'clock on Tuesdays. That's it.
My turn. So apparently there are posters going up, which is interesting. Jen, can we talk after the meeting about that?
Yeah, sure.
I didn't know that. Anyway,
Join the crowd.
of course it's Kyle. Anyway, so we're just about done benchmarking meal plans. We'll be going over that tomorrow in our meeting right after FSC's meeting at 6 p.m. So feel free to show up and join us. Our next meeting with Hospitality Services is this Wednesday, so tomorrow we'll be finishing meal plan benchmarking and then preparing for that meeting as well. We're still looking for some more membership, which is why we're postering. So if you know anyone who's interested in HSAC, please have them contact me, email me as soon as you can. Thanks.
Lexi, student life?
All right, our committee's been working on various things. Our health center services group is working to get a pharmacy proposal ready for a full service pharmacy in the union as opposed to the prescription delivery from last year. And we're looking at putting forward another proposal for residence life for various improvements in each specific residence hall that we have on campus. And then I'll let Paul give some updates about the student policy group.
Yeah, I met with Lydia Rest from the Counseling Center earlier today, and Dean Smith came to our committee meeting last week, and we talked about and updated us on what the policy is probably going to look like, along with the fact that it needs to be updated by July, that the federal, or something was passed in the Federal Register of Policies and stuff, and it's kind of changed some of the stuff that they're looking at changing, that they're looking at for the setup for the judicial process. Also, the Good Samaritan policy will be as it was in the previous editions of the handbook, because some groups felt that adding hazing to be covered by the Good Samaritan policy essentially made it sound like the school was endorsing hazing. And also later this week, I'll be meeting with Alex and Tara from the health center. And I guess I may as well hop on Joe's train of talking to Jen, since we haven't actually started working on universal access in the subcommittee, though it's apparently in a nebulous area between Case and I's subcommittees, so yeah.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to it yet, but we will be working on it. So universal access will be handled either through Paul's or Case's subcommittees. But
it's in the news.
Kate?
Yeah, tomorrow we will be meeting with the director of parking and transportation, the operations manager rather. He will be reviewing the quote with us because we will actually be purchasing the tracking devices like really soon. So we'll see some visible results on that. Also, the Senate survey is up. We worked on that this past week. So as you guys have been doing, posting on Facebook, continue that. Otherwise, that's it. Yep.
Can I take your website?
Yeah, sure.
In terms of the student government website, the second focus group was conducted by Tina on Friday. In terms of actual development, we started the I started the homepage, working on the actual page layout and making sure it's standard so that we can apply it to all the different pages.
Morgan isn't here for community relations. I didn't get an update, so is Nathan. The executive board didn't meet last week, so there's no updates except for the usual budgeting timelines, which I announced last week. So we're gonna go to Kristen, the graduate council.
Graduate Council's having a movie night on Friday with UPAC Cinema. We are taking over their 7 p.m. showing of Guardians of the Galaxy. So if any of you guys want to watch a movie with a lot of graduate students, you can go to that showing.
What time?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Friday there.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Our polos came in. They look awesome.
Debatable.
I think that's about it for now.
Okay. IOC, James?
So Men's Greek Hockey Night is this Friday, November 7th, and the Greek Service Day, the date was definalized, so we have no idea what it is, but it will happen.
So Friday at 7?
Friday at 7, yep.
Okay. One last thing. So apparently Cody is very allergic to peanuts. So if you guys want candy for wearing your polos, you can come back with me to the GMPU office and you're welcome to have candy, but we're not gonna distribute the peanut butter candy, so that way she doesn't have an allergy. I didn't know she wasn't coming here today, so I know that this discussion is mute, but I'm just announcing in general that candy will be after the meeting. Does anyone have any new or unfinished business? Questions from the press?
I just want to compliment the photos.
Okay, meeting adjourned, everybody. Have a good
Nowhere.
So it's just to get members.
You're off our list.